Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's stream.
Hey, I'm DTG Kevin. I'm with Matt Pedalson.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes, and tonight we're going to be having a look at the EMD SD9.
Yes.
AKA
The Cadillac.
because of its smooth
and comfortable ride.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at everything before doing a scenario. So,
Okay, so let's fire. What I'm going to do is, same as last time, I'm going to fire the scenario up. We'll look at some stuff and then we'll just restart the scenario.
yeah. So the SD9, built in the 50s, 1954 to 1959.
Yeah.
Built by Electro-Motive,
Yes.
and I think they did just over 470 units.
Yeah, there was quite a few of them. There was only 10 of them actually went to Denver and Rio Grande, but they were definitely a very, very successful unit.
Yeah, which is not surprising considering they, the horsepower they packed. 17, just a bit over 1,700 horsepower.
Yeah.
Which is quite impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big step up on the 1,500 horsepower of the predecessor, the SD7.
Yeah, because really, the SD9 is it's mainly a longer GP9 with 6 axles, so it's quite a feat considering where it came from.
Yes, absolutely.
And now let's have a look at the cab.
So we're in the cab. We've got cab light. As we've all come to expect cab light now. We've got a little array of buttons down here, so things like step lights, which you can turn on and off. You've got the gauge lights, which you can, let me just zoom back a bit so we can see the gauge lights. There you go. We've got number board lights here, and we can change the rear lights, and we can change the front lights. As is common with a lot of the Locos now, the American ones, you've got different brightnesses of lights that you can switch on. So you've got dim and bright and so forth, which is much sought after, much requested. One other really nice feature that's on this Loco is the new braking system that we launched in Soldier Summit originally on the SD40T-2. So the new braking system, which is highly realistic, is implemented on the SD9. So if you haven't already got used to that, now's a good time to do that. What else have we got? So we notice we've got classification lights on the front. So pressing Control 1, I can change the classification lights according to what kind of service this is, what part of a service this is.
I'm getting questions about wipers from Busmud Boy.
Wipers, so you can operate them manually and individually, as we've been able to now for some of the more recent releases. Or you can hit the V key and they all go.
Okay, more requests. What about the horn?
The horn.
Always popular.
The bell. Second man, the conductor's seat.
And SLSF1522 says this cab looks like the GP9 cab. Well, yes.
Because it is basically an extended GP9, there's an awful lot in there. This is a new cab that's been modelled for the SD9, but it will look very, very similar to the GP9 because the real one does. Yeah,
because, quite simply, the SD9 is a longer GP9.
Yep.
So it has 6 axles instead of 4.
Yeah.
So yes, it is similar, but we did build it from scratch. So apparently we're getting no game sound.
Now we're getting game sound.
Now we've.
I do apologise, everyone. Let's do the horn again.
Let's do the horn again.
Bell. Let's get moving so you can hear the engine sound.
Another driving adventure with Matt P.
We'll actually do the scenario in a minute, so that's just brought the Loco out. I thought we could, having got the Loco out, we can take a closer look at the modelling on this one.
And the 6 axles.
There you go, there's your 6 axles. Lots of really nice details that have been added to this one. Don't know if anyone will recognise the engineer, the conductor on this one. Yeah, that's the outside. We'll hear the engine sounds more when we actually get into the scenario.
So just to answer all the questions we're getting in chat about the sounds, the audio, yes, it does sound, the GP9 and SD9 do sound very similar. It's just because they share the prime mover.
Yep, in fact it shares the, so it's got the two-stroke 567C V16 diesel power plant in it. Very successful power plant used in a number of locos.
I love the colour scheme, gold and black.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the chevrons on the front.
Yeah.
It just makes it sort of get out of my way. I'm coming.
It really does look nice for a workhorse.
It does. I mean, especially with the where a lot of American. There's two styles of American locos where you've got the low nose ones and the high nose ones, and the high nose ones always look rather a bit more utility. I've always, certainly in my view, and it sort of looks like, well, it looks like a loco built to do a job.
Yeah, I like it because it projects raw power. It really is the idea that it's a big beast of a loco.
It is, yeah. You really are operating a power plant.
And I like that in the logo.
Yes. Well, you've got 1,750 horsepower to command. So all the fans are working in the roof. There's even the detail down to the nuts on top. Amazing.
Okay, so we've got some questions. Does this have freight cars?
Yes, there is one freight car included. It's called a mill gondola, and I will go and find one because there is one around here.
And just because there's specific request, that question was from a player whom I called SLSF1522, but he says he wants to be called Frisco.
He does indeed like to be called Frisco, yes. Oh, here they are. I went the wrong way.
So anyway, yes, we're going to have a look right now. Another question from...
where are they? Who nicked them?
EWS, who says, please answer, but the only question I can see is, can't wait for the Class 25. So not really a question, but...
Well, that's really good. We can't wait for that either. That's coming in the Weird Al route, which was demoed last week. And we're all excited about that one too. But today, it's SD9.
Absolutely.
So I think this is the
Yes.
the wagon. It's called a mill gondola. So it just very much fits into the theme of the other freight cars that were included in Soldier Summit. And there's another SD9 at the top here.
So Train Simmer 2015, did you know that the SD9 has a V16 engine and has a fuel capacity of either 1,200 or 2,400 US gallons, depending on the operator's preferences?
Yep, certainly does. It's as you said before, it's their highly successful two-stroke 567C engine, which is indeed a V16 power plant.
Well, 471 units built. That kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Very popular.
So that's the freight car. That's the mill gondola. So go back to our train. These obviously are all wagons that were included in Soldier Summit previously. So if you've got Soldier Summit, you've already got those. In terms of use, the SD9s are principally based down in Provo, and they're used as big heavy yard switches for moving big long consists around, and for local transfer services, so moving in freight in and around the area. So they're not particularly as much used for perhaps hauling along the length of the line, but you'd use them for switching around in this quite substantial yard.
Does the SD9 come with a winter skin for soldier?
I don't know is the answer to that question.
But if you leave your question with us, we will find the answer
Yes.
and we will let you know. Can you guys sound the horn and bell again?
So you've got quite nice control over the bell. It's capable of the horn. Sorry, it's capable of doing quite short, very short blasts, as well as looping for a longer blast. So you've got so that's a short blast, and then you can hold it. So you can do all of the different horn blasts that are stipulated in Rule 14. And for those that aren't aware of it, freight the freight FRA Rule 14 it tells you all the places that you must use your horn, such as Rule 14L, which is the common one, which is a long, a long, a short, and a long on approach to a grade crossing. So when you're coming to a grade crossing, you see the little sign with a wet W on it. That's when you start thinking about doing your Rule 14L. And then the other one, I can't remember. I think it's Rule 14A, is 2 short blasts when you start moving.
Yeah. Well, you better tell people to get out of the way.
Absolutely. I'm coming.
Yeah.
If the big yellow and black stripes didn't tell you otherwise.
The SD9 is not stopping for anyone or anything.
I hope so. Otherwise, we're not going to get very far in this scenario. Let's go back in the cab.
So, Frisco asking, may I ask why the SD9? The D&RGW ordered like 100 GP40s and GP42s. Why not make that for Soldier Summit?
I don't know what other bits of stock we have planned, but this is the one that is coming out soon. It's a great loco for switching in Provo Yard. Let's just take a look at Provo Yard. There's quite a bit down here, so there won't have only been 10 of them, but you'll make good use of them.
Certainly.
I think it appeals more to switchers type gameplay rather than long haul type gameplay. So it is a different style of gameplay. It will appeal to some people, and I mean we do get a lot. We hear from a lot of people who they do like to do switching, and others obviously that like to do the long haul runs across the entire length of the route. This is aimed at the switchers.
Okay, and I do have a question for you from Koplopimau. Can we expect an advanced preview of the Unreal 4 engine soon? And I think the answer to that would be not quite yet.
I don't know is the answer to that. When there'll be an advance. At some point there will be an advanced preview. Whether there's a soon in there or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
When it's really awesome.
As soon as we can, as soon as it's ready, we'll let you know and we will share
absolutely
everything we can.
Really looking forward to sharing it with you. It's looking good.
And Joseph Walls is saying, hey, it's not Steve number 1.
It's not Steve number 1, correctly.
It's the other livery with hair.
Well, not Steve number 2 had hair as well.
Yeah, but I have facial hair.
Ah, okay.
And just for further reference, my name's Kevin, actually.
It's Kevin, yes.
DTG Kevin. Some of you might have seen me on the forums. So let's go.
Right, let me restart the scenario then. Got any more questions? Fire them away, we'll answer them as we drive.
EWS, will there be any free DLC coming soon? I don't know.
I'm not aware of any either.
No, I'm...
Something for us to find out. Yeah, I've asked, you only have 2 more gondolas that need to be emptied. After that, collect the empties from around the pipeworks, ready for delivery to Provo Yard. You'll need to manually set your path for each task. So this scenario is called, it's mill time. It's actually the 3rd scenario in the pack. And let me just set the path up here, and then we'll go and fuel up. So I'm just using the mouse button to navigate my way around the yard. And then change these switches so that the blue line goes all the way out of the yard. And then we'll be into dispatch control territory. Right, let's go ahead and get moving. So at this point we're just moving forward to fuel up.
There's another one going the other way.
Look at that.
Darkness Monster says, hello Matt Chat and Mysterious Stranger. I'm assuming that would be me, aka
Kevin.
Not Steve One and Kevin. So what cars come with this? From Joseph Walls.
It's the mill gondola. Yes, the mill gondola is the card that comes with it. Right, tank is full. Head down to Irons and Pipeworks and collect the cut of empties. You may need to set your path to exit the yard, which we've already done. So let's release the Loco brake.
Question from Rob Spielt. What do you think about an open beta with the Unreal Engine game? We'll see when we get there, because we certainly will be beta testing.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
We don't exactly know when we're going to start doing that, so until we have further details, we can't really share anything. Quite simply because we don't know when and how we're going to be doing it.
Yeah, it's early days. It's making great progress, but it's still early days.
But it does look really good. We're not teasing or anything, but it does look really, really good. Apparently, Plopper Mouse says, minus 100 points, forgot to horn and forgot to enable the bell.
When I started moving again. Yes, absolutely. The game doesn't really check that sort of thing, though. So that's up to you to get right and to chastise yourself if you don't. Consider me chastised.
We'll beat you up a little bit when you're done.
Yeah, that's what usually happens.
That's what you do for every point that you lose.
When I played this scenario earlier on, I wasn't paying completely enough attention. I think minus 2,000 was my score. So if I'm going to get beaten up for every point, I think I'm going to try and do better.
2,000 lashes, yeah.
I think I'm going to try and do better.
P. Schlick says, so I'm assuming this is DTG made.
Certainly is. Yep, this is a dovetail.
Mostly
Loco.
with the sounds.
Sorry?
Apparently, no. What gave him a hint is sounds. So I think he's not liking the sounds. Well, as we were saying earlier, the SD9 really is a longer GP9, so the sounds are very similar to what you will have, and they are faithful as much as possible.
Yep. There we go. Points are going away already. Are you looking at the pretty clouds up in the mountains then? That's probably not what I'm supposed to be doing. If you haven't seen that yet, by the way, this is the new skies that came in with TS 2015. It's particularly visible when you've got a route with mountains like this one, where you can see the clouds actually intersecting with the mountains. It looks absolutely amazing. and it wasn't possible previously. So it's a big step forward in the visuals.
So we're getting a lot of questions about other locos and could we do this or could we do that? Could we envision doing? We can't really answer all those questions because really we don't have all the schedules with us, and it's those are decisions that are made with a lot of people. So we can't answer this right now. But if you've got anything about the SD9, we can certainly answer those. Is there any rolling stock included with the SD9?
Yes, there's a mill gondola. We're actually going to get some in a minute. That's where we're heading to now. So once we get there, you'll be able to see the gondola again. We did show it earlier on, but we're going to see them again in a minute.
JM1260, can I buy it now? No, it's not available yet. It's going to be a little while longer. But yes, you will be able to purchase it soon. And Frisco's asking, is this the same guy from the Sharknose preview? Yes, it is.
That's it.
Can we see the conductor view in the cab?
In a moment, yes. Cab. There we go. Engineer's seat.
Achievement unlocked.
Achievement. Woohoo! I like achievements. I am that person. Right, you'll need to navigate around the junction ahead in order to get to the right track to collect the empties. So I've just got the loco brake on so we can slow down for this reverse point over here. So we're going to go down here, come back up on this track and then reverse across that point. So we're going to be doing a little bit of back and forth to get ourselves in the right place.
Question from Frisco, what was the purpose of high-nose cabs?
Safety. It means that the same as running long nose forward, it protects the engineer from any and the conductor from any impacts.
And from Joseph, does this include opening windows and doors?
No, it doesn't, I'm afraid.
And hello to Simon too, who's saying hi.
Hello. I have to say, Soldier Summer has definitely become one of my favourite American routes of late. It really is gorgeous.
Why is there no Thomas the Tank Engine DLC?
I think that's a licensing thing. Oh, that's where I am. Right, so we're going up here, past that switch there.
Frisco says the game said 2 empties. Those aren't 2 entries.
Say that again.
I'm not entirely sure. Those are not 2 empties.
These are the empties over here. Get past this switch, then we can change the line. Right, now we've passed, we can change the switch, and we need to change that switch. It's a three-way, so we can change it one more time. There we go. Blue line now goes where we need it to, and we can couple to our wagons.
Question from Britannica. Can we have the silver streaks with Gene Wild and Richard Price hanging on it?
Can we have one?
Can we have the silver streak with Gene Wild and Richard Price hanging on it?
You may have to supply the Richard Price and the Gene Wilds yourself. Right, so we've got to stop at the siding, and then we can couple up to these gondolas.
So Rio Grande is actually a Spanish word. Do you know the English translation? Technically there are two Spanish words, and they mean big river.
I'm thinking big river as well. I was doing some research a while ago into trying to make a family tree, like a genealogy of American railroads, because there's really interesting the stories since the late 1800s. And one of the things that I found out, which really surprised me, I wondered where Rio Grande had disappeared to, or where its story ended. Turns out Rio Grande bought Southern Pacific and renamed themselves to Southern Pacific. So essentially, Rio Grande are still what's around it, Southern Pacific that disappeared.
Technically.
Technically. Of course, then it all got consumed by Union Pacific, so these days it's all Union Pacific.
John DK, Jeremy Clarkson should test drive the Loco. We've got our very own Jeremy Clarkson. Well, you haven't punched anyone in the face yet.
Not yet, not yet.
Who's next to Matt? It's DTG Kevin here. Here are the empties.
There are empty wagons. So in there's three scenarios that come for Soldier Summit, and we're playing the third one. In the first one, you ended up dropping these wagons here. The empties are now attached. There's another switch at the other end, which is not needed. Uncouple this before departing. There it is. Let's put its brake on. Right. Now we need to head out. So I'm going to change that switch, and change that switch. Lots of switch changing. But that's the life of a switcher. Right, go to reverse, release the Loco brake. Make sure that the main
How long did it take to make the SD9?
I think Loco, I don't know specifically on the SD9, but I think Loco packs are generally in the order of 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
With a team of a number of people. I've got an operational error there. I've forgotten something. It picked up the other wagon.
So Sin Man, what's the difference between the SD9 and the GP9? Well, they are pretty much the same thing. The SD9 is a longer version of the GP9, and the SD9 has 6 axles, and when the GP only has 4. But otherwise, they are pretty much the same thing. It's just that the SD9 packs a little bit more of a punch.
Yeah, it's longer, it's heavier. So I just lost a load of points there because for some reason the switcher decided to couple back up again, or didn't uncouple when I clicked on it. Never mind. We're on now.
Train Simmer says, Kevin, that must be really insulting knowing that not many people know you. That's sad. Well, I'm not a superstar like Matt, so I'm more of a behind-the-scenes guy.
Right, so that's our next waypoint. That's waypoint number 7. So we're going to have a look at the gondolas while we're coasting down here. So this is the mill gondola.
And hello to you, the all-seeing eye king. Took me a while to read that name.
Tasek, as he likes to be referred to. Let's get the end of train device on the back.
So, Sinman 2, Kevin, what projects have you worked on at DTG, if you don't mind me asking? Well, a little bit of train sim, of course, but I also work on FSX and DTG fishing because I'm a jack of all trades.
Absolutely.
It's also why they don't trust me with the actual train.
I wonder sometimes if you'll do a better job than I do. He says, looking at his minus 1700 score.
I don't know if I'd do a better job, but I think it would be more entertaining. You can see the headlines. Insane conductor cuts loose. Do you have to wear polos at Dovetail every day? No, we don't.
No.
Just because then when I'm done with this I can go off and be a postman. Question from JJS something, so I can't read that.
JJ's movie hole.
There you go. Are these new car wagons, or did they come with Soldier Summit?
The wagons are the mill gondolas. These come with the SD9. There's just there's one new wagon. It's very much in the same style as the wagons that come with Soldier Summit, so it adds to the collection quite nicely.
And a really good question from EWS. Do you have any tips on how to run train sim smoothly on a really basic computer?
There are a number of things you can do. Hang on, I may have started this one last a little early.
It's okay. To be fair, you're not minus 1700. You're at minus 1697.
This is true. There's 3 more to go. Yeah. So if you're running it on a very low spec machine, then one of the biggest performance improvements is by disabling dynamic lighting in the settings screen. It has a massive impact on the visuals, so you don't get the dynamic lighting. So the shadows won't look properly. It won't look the way they do in the screenshots. But if what you're trying to do is actually play the game, then you need some frame rate, and dynamic lighting is one of the biggest ways you can achieve that. There are a number of other things you can do, like if you're running any form of anti-aliasing, you can turn that down or turn it off. The resolution actually makes an impact on some graphics systems, so you could try turning the resolution down and see if that helps as well.
And of course, there's all the other stuff that's not Train Simulator, so make sure that you're not running anything in the background, make sure that you don't have anything scheduled like updates or antivirus scans, or because those do eat up quite a bit of memory, so in the end it all adds up and it makes it just a little bit harder for your PC. So, Joseph Walls, does this have a different light configurations? Yes, it does.
Certainly does. It's got so you've got a number of different configurations, and you've got them on both sides. You've also got the class lights, which you can set to the green, red, or white, according to what kind of train service you're running. Perhaps someone in the chat can, who's more knowledgeable, can remind what the different colours mean on class lights. I vaguely remember, but it's good if someone could let us know, or let me know. Might be
because I know, but I won't tell you. I'm that kind of spiteful person. Will this have a manual? Yes, it will.
So it does.
Does the current transmitter run? Okay, sorry. Does TS run on a single core?
Principally, yes. Train simulator is single core. I think there are some elements where it will pass some stuff off to other cores, but it's relatively minor. It's fundamentally a single core game.
And Sinman is actually saying, Kevin, tell the guys at the FSX, thank you so very much, and I think I can speak for a lot of people, that game need to be dropped back into the spotlight, and it's incredibly realistic. Oh, thank you. I will tell him.
That's really good feedback.
And realism is what we strive for.
Absolutely, so that's what basically we're all about. Let's just check the map. We're actually on our way through this this large yard here. The red train is us. So we're good to Provo Sharp Yard lead, and then we're going to have to pull all the way forward up to the depot track and then reverse back down into here. So we're good for the time being.
Nobody has asked who I am for the past like 5 minutes.
This is Kevin.
And you might actually get to see DTGJ on camera soon.
Ooh.
That's a special treat.
That's a treat. That'll be a treat.
We just had to make sure that he was presentable, so get a haircut, better dress and all that. He's not as good looking as us, so.
No,
Who are you?
Bob.
It's a never-ending struggle. I'm DTG Steve's evil twin. I don't know if DTG Kevin would be a good name for DTG Steve's evil twin.
Don't know.
Kevin's not a good name for an evil mastermind.
It's the name of a minion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That sort of rates it down as being a bad guy.
See how I get treated by Matt? We should all get in front of the camera and introduce yourselves. We could. That's not a bad idea, actually.
That's actually a very good idea.
But it would be a pretty long show because there's a lot of us.
There are a lot now. It's surprising.
And it's confusing. You've got several Kevins, you've got several Marks, you've got several, all the common names we have.
There's even 2 Matt P's.
Yeah.
Although the other Matt P is in Stirling. So, but still, I couldn't believe it when there was another Matt P.
Well, we could get there, but it would be a sterling effort.
It would be a sterling effort, absolutely. Oh dear.
That was a free pun. Okay. Wait, Steve got an evil twin? Yes, that would be me. The guys next to not Steve is the Prince of Wales. That is Wales simulated. Can make a fake account called DTG Frisco or DTG. You could, and then you'd be banned from the chat. Yes, you can. How many James do we have at DTG? Yeah. We've got over 100 people working at DTG now.
Well over 100.
Yeah, well over, so...
Most names are covered. I think most of the nationalities are covered.
I think we have people from all over the world, quite literally.
Yeah.
I think we have at least 18 nationalities here.
It's really good because it brings a lot of diversity to what we do. We get a lot of different opinions, and it helps make sure that we're doing things that everybody wants.
Absolutely.
Getting there.
So Frisco says that we stink for not allowing him to have a DDG Frisco account.
Oh well.
It's okay if we stink. We're on camera. You can't smell us
Until smell-o-vision, we're cool.
And then they'll probably just hire 2 other guests or 2 other hosts.
Yep.
So that Canadian man, hi guys, this SD9 looks good.
Well,
It does, and I really, really like the colour scheme. The livery is just gorgeous. I really like it.
So I mean, this is an advanced preview. The Loco is it's very much on the way to being finished, but it isn't finished yet. It's going through the last stages of development at the moment. So if you've got any feedback, then please do get it over to us, and we can pass it on to the team. And yeah, your feedback is really good, really useful, and we very much appreciate it.
And goodbye to Cinnamon too, who's apparently off to Engine Driver to make suggestions.
Go for it. If you have suggestions, one of the best places to do it is to come up with an article which sort of really explains why you think your suggestion is good, and include some photographs. Make sure you check the copyright on the photographs. Check your facts. Think about what trains would run on the route, or where that train would run, and then everyone can see exactly what you mean, rather than just saying make a class blah, where it's just a number.
Absolutely. That's a crazy thing. We actually do read everything you put on Engine Driver. So, how come the delivery is quite different to the GP9? That's a question for you. No, delivery.
Oh, the livery. I don't know.
Neither do I.
Is it different?
Can we hear the horn?
So we should be doing it now anyway. Come up from crossing.
That's nice. So Frisco, where do you all make the sounds for these locos? Some of them sound good, like the AC6000. Well, we have some people working on the audio, and they work their magic every time. So that's actually something I think that we'll be talking a bit more in the future, explaining how we do this, how we get the sounds, what's involved, and because it's something that people talk about a lot and want to know about. So anyway,
Yes, the audio team spend a lot of time on the audio, and
Train Simmer says, did you know the smallest SD9 order was for one loco on the Wisconsin Central Railroad? Actually, and very good question for Joseph Walls. How do you make routes and locos that haven't been around for a while? And the answer would be research.
If it's looking at photographs, it's just down to the sheer talent of the team that they work on this stuff. They can take a few photographs of a loco and recreate it in 3D. It's just amazing.
And even for routes, like when we did Soldier Summit, we sent people over to Utah to actually have a proper look, get all the info they need, because Soldier Summit is not set in the present. It's so some stuff has gone up, some stuff has come down, and it's really all about the research.
Absolutely, yeah. It's get the research, and It's amazing how much there is available. These days we've got access to the internet. I mean, as Derek was saying last week, when this product was started, that didn't have that kind of research available to you on the internet. But now there's so much information available.
We barely had PCs back in the day.
PC, yes.
Just us sitting in front of a table going choo choo. So, but no, and we do encourage you to watch last week's stream, because Derek went into a lot of detail about how we did Weird Al and Teasdale. And it was really interesting because you can see exactly what we're talking about: the amount of work, the attention to detail, the love that we put into our roots, because really it is a labour of love.
Oh, it is. I mean, everybody, all of the teams really, they really get invested in the projects they're working on. You have to really for something like this, because the level of detail that's in them, you have to really care about it. Right, so we need to just change one switch now, if memory serves. Yep.
How many assets does Dovetail usually make for a route? That varies quite a bit, but
it varies very much quite a bit, because I mean, even if a route uses, we tried to create as many are appropriate, I think, is the answer. I mean, there's no point just making new trees for the sake of new trees, but you also don't want to keep having the same trees on every route. But it's more important to focus your efforts when you're making a route on what are the really important things that you need, like key bridges, key buildings, key landmarks, and then you start bringing it down to the levels of detail. So you realise, actually, after we've done all the really important stuff, we've got room to do a bunch of new foliage, so it can get some really nice new foliage or this kind of stuff.
And there's always stuff that really just gives extra flavour to the route. For example, last week, if you ever want someone to have a lengthy conversation about bricks and brick colour, talk to Derek. He's passionate about that. It's because really different types of bricks tell different stories, especially in England.
Yes.
And so pictures and pictures and pictures of brick walls were taken for the W&T route. And really for Solar Summit there was a lot like rock formations, a lot of foliage and all that. So
yes, some of our research photo libraries have got some of the bizarrest collection of photos, but they're all gold for the content developers. And when you're building a loco or a wagon or something, it's amazing. You can find, if you're doing a particular class of loco like the SD9, you can probably find a ton of photographs of the side. Probably find not very much of the top, and not very much of the bottom. And more often than not, that's where all the actual work and the detail is on these bits that people just don't photograph.
Yeah, and it's one of the problems, you can't really look it up on the internet, because now if you just Google pictures of bottoms on the internet, it just doesn't show up the right.
No, absolutely. It's just not a good thing to do.
Joseph Falls, how do you know what kind of track beds to use? How do you know when one type of tracks end and one begins?
Again, it's research.
Yeah, we just go and have a look whenever possible, or
you get a lot of information from satellite photography, from things like Google and Bing Maps. You go actually visit the line and go up and down the line as much as you can. And if it's a passenger line, you can go up and down it in quite a lot of detail. If it's a freight line, that's a lot harder, and you're generally walking up and down outside of the boundary, so you can sort of look at it from a distance and take zoom lens photography.
Yeah, and sometimes quite simply don't know, because the track's aren't there anymore. It's in the case of the W&T, a lot of it is gone now. So you do with with whatever information you can get. And
yes, you can generally find in a lot of cases that particular types of track bed were used in particular places, and you can therefore make reasonably educated guesses about what colour it might be and how it might look. And because there's some routes where there's because of the local supply, it's very white on the ballast, because that's where they get it's got a lot of chalk in it, I think, and so you can use that kind of knowledge to give you a rough idea of what it would look like. SD40T-2 sitting over here.
So do you have to look at the route at every angle for mountains, buildings, and etc.? Oh, yes.
You look at it from as many angles as you can. There are never too many photographs of anything. There's always a photograph will always tell you something that you haven't seen in the $9,000 photographs you looked at. I mean, the terrain, you get a lot of the basic terrain information from imaging sources like digital elevation models and so forth. But then you just can't beat looking at the photographs and then tuning it, adjusting it, and crafting it. And that's really where the skill of the content creators comes through.
So Frisco, can we have a reskin of the Challenger for Soldier Summit? It can come with classic D&RGW freight cars, with the 40-foot boxcars, reefers, tank cars and cabooses.
Make a suggestion and propose it on Engine Driver. It's definitely the best place to make any kinds of suggestions, because then you get other feedback from other people, and it also encourages you to really think about in detail about what might the scenarios for that pack be, and what will it look like, because the photographs of it actually in existence. That's all really interesting stuff that we'd and like I said, as Kevin said earlier, we read all of it. Really there.
And the exciting thing is very often the community has information that we don't have. Like when we did the preview of the Sharknose, where we weren't able to get access to the warehouse where the last 2 units are kept. But one of our community members, Jarrett, unless I'm mistaken, said, "Hey, I went there 2 years ago. Here's a bunch of pictures and here's some stuff you didn't know." And it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Yes, as I say, the feedback we get from the community is it helps us to make better products. It really does.
Joseph Walls, does every article submitted on Engine Driver get posted into Engine Driver? No, quite a few reasons. You just have to make sure that the quality is right, because we do want it to be a serious resource for our players, so we just have to make sure that the article contains all the information that players might want to see. They bring something new, sheds light on something that people haven't read about before. But certainly, if you post something that's interesting, that's well written, you've got a reasonable chance of getting up there.
Absolutely. I mean, they're certainly all reviewed and looked at, definitely. Right. So I finished that, and I managed to rescue my score almost back under minus 1,000.
Not bad.
And the minimum of speeding. Look at that. That's all my speeding. The minus 2,000 points in operational errors, they are possibly the problem. So that was the SD9. Denver and Rio Grand Western. 1,750 horsepower. It comes with 3 scenarios. Let me just pull those up so I can just let you know what they are. So the first one's assembling the load. 45 minutes, very hard. Starting at Provo Yard in the middle of a snowstorm, you'll be assembling a huge consist of 100-ton cars to be delivered to Helper later. The poor visibility and adverse conditions compound to make your task more difficult. In this scenario, you start with 1,000 points and are penalised for operational errors. It's probably not good for me then.
No.
Preparing the mill is number 2. Start this 2-part sequel by unloading the remaining scrap from 2 gondolas, and you'll then be instructed to collect 2 separate cuts of empty gondolas. Not to worry, another engine will be along later to collect the empties and deliver them to Provo Yard, which brings us to number 3, duty calls. You have been requested to collect a cut of empties from preparing the mill and move them to the D&RGW Yard at Provo. This run might not be as straightforward as you think. So that was the one that we did. That was 40 minutes, and that was a standard sort of easy, not easy, regular difficulty scenario. So that's the SD9. So I think we're.
I think that's it.
Are we done? Is there any more questions, Kevin?
No, I think that's it. What's the top speed?
The top speed. It won't be, I don't know with top speed. It won't be high because it's meant for hauling heavy loads short distances and moving them between.
It's a workhorse.
It's a workhorse, so yes, it's not going to be particularly fast. It's not built as a fast engine.
But it is a beautiful engine.
It's lovely, isn't it? It's really nice. I do like those ones. It's sort of got that feeling of power to it. Yeah.
And I think that's all the questions we have for now. So we're just going to give them like another 10 seconds.
Yeah, let's give them a little bit more time in case there's any more questions. So I'll just give you a quick recap then. We've been looking at the SD9, Denver and Rio Grand Western livery, scenarios for Soldier Summit. It's the next, the successor to the SD7 that was released by EMD. There were 10 owned by Denver and Rio Grande, but there were 471 of them actually in total, so it's a very popular, very successful unit. You're going to be using them primarily around the area of Provo, if you're using them prototypically. Obviously you can use them anywhere you like if you want to. Primarily they were used as heavy yard switches and for local transfer of freight services in the Provo, Salt Lake City and Ogden region. So yeah, you're going to be using them principally as switches.
Train Simmer said, wait, will I get a copy for those facts? I don't think so. I think you'd have to send us some exclusive pictures that you took.
I think so.
And another question, raffle?
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go for it. Let me get something
We
set
almost
up.
forgot.
And I have to do it the old-fashioned way again, unfortunately. Right, so it's open. What you need to type into the raffle is the ! raffle. This is, of course, a giveaway, not a raffle, but unfortunately the software requires that you type the word raffle in. So the prize, we have 2 copies of the D&RGW SD9, and we're going to give one of them away right now. So if you type ! raffle, all in lowercase letters, please, and put that onto the chat window, as you can see people are doing right now. And we'll give that a moment, and then we'll do our first draw. If there's any more questions while you're waiting.
And if you do type ! waffle, we'll get some waffles afterwards, because
Yeah.
waffles are nice. And someone said ! Kevin.
At least they know who you are.
Yes, that's
This
good.
is a step up.
It's a step up, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
What's the difference between a raffle and a giveaway?
So it's a legal difference, and basically a raffle is like a lottery, and a raffle is something you pay to enter. A bit like when you buy the tickets in the newsagents, whereas a giveaway is free to enter. And the principal difference is that if you pay to enter, then it must be licensed. Whereas a giveaway where you're not paying to enter is not licensed. Hence the clarification.
Now there's a ! not Steve number 1.
Yeah,
fair
slightly
enough.
sideways into the down a little bit.
Yeah. I'll take it. What happened to the Swiss route you were doing?
Oh, I think they're making that perfect. That's going to be a real stunner, and I'm hoping that we can be able to show that one to you very soon. Actually,
I think we're good to go.
I think we're good to go. So who's our first winner? Class 150. Congratulations, Class 150. You're our first winner. I'll just make a note of your username. Right, so we'll do one more, and then I'll just let everybody know what that actually means. So, let me reset the raffle. Right, we're all ready to go.
Class
again.
150, it is you.
Yes, Class 150. Congratulations. So the raffle giveaway is back open again. So if you can type ! raffle again into the chat for another chance to win the second copy of the SD9.
And Kamoli is asking, any news on the release of the BR120? And the answer will
Not
be
at
soon.
the moment. I think it's going to be.
Yeah, it is coming.
It is coming.
We didn't forget
yes.
about it, but it's not going to be just in the next few days.
Yes,
It's just around the corner.
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
Got people entering. Excellent. Don't forget, if you want to enter the raffle, type ! raffle, lowercase letters, type it into the chat. You haven't got long to enter. We're going to draw in a moment. Possibly even might have drawn by the time you hear this, given the delay on the Twitch chat.
I think a couple of people might be mocking me. I've got ! first guy dovetail with facial hair and a full head of hair.
Or they're mocking me. Either way, I believe there is mocking underway.
Yeah. Not quite sure I like this. We might just kind of cancel the giveaway. It's just
Yeah. How are we doing? Is there anyone else still? Are we done? Seems to have slowed down. Right, let's draw.
Yeah, let's do this.
You can say that one.
Oh yes, I can. Pobo Lick WM.
Pobolichim?
Yeah,
Pobolichim.
Pobolich.
Let me just announce it in the
Yes.
chat. There you go. That way,
And
you'll know who you are.
Yeah, we do apologise for butchering your nickname.
So yes, congratulations, Class 150 and Pobolichim. You've won a copy of the SD9. It's not finished yet, so we don't have keys as yet. What we'll do is once it's released, then we'll be able to get the codes out to you. They'll come out to you via Twitch messaging. So if you keep an eye, once you see the Loco's been launched, if you go and have a look at your Twitch inbox, or next to the Twitch inbox there's another icon that says Other. So if you have a look in there as well, sometimes Twitch puts the messages in there. So if you can have a look there, you should see it'll come with full instructions telling you what to do once you get it. If you have any problems, just drop us a note and let us know. So yes, congratulations to the two of you.
So I think we've got a question that wins everything. Why are you guys wearing Britney Spears microphones? Well, we were considering.
After this, we're going for a sing-song, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. We're thinking about doing "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time."
Absolutely.
So no, I think we'll spare you guys, but
That's for a future stream, I think.
Yeah, for this future stream. But no, that's it. So
that's it. Yes. So thanks very much, everybody.
Yeah, it was lovely showing you this beautiful, beautiful engine, and have an excellent weekend. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks very much, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.